All right, so glad you found me. If this is your first time watching a video by me, I've got plenty of videos up. First thing I want to mention is I have a book that I wrote a couple of years ago called "Get Out the Mud Already: 21 Ways to Get Out of a Slump or Over the Hump that you're stuck in." It's a great book. It's an easy read. It's about $2.99 on Amazon. So go check that book out. All right, that's that. I want to talk about something pretty interesting that I think will be something that will help. I don't really discuss this much, but I want to talk about it because I was talking to one of my mentors about a week ago, and I told him this, and it was like, "Man, you never shared that with me. You should have. That was an awesome story that you shared, and it really inspired me. I even shared it with someone else." So I want to share it with you guys because I forgot about it. I don't talk about it much. When I was younger, like in my 20s, when I was in my 20s, I had this tenacious faith. I wasn't, I don't know. You know how some people, they always think negative before they think positive? Like if they decide they want to do something, they can immediately think of all the reasons it won't work. In my 20s, I just wasn't like that. Like when I was doing things, I was thinking of things that in my mind, this can work, and there's no doubt in my mind. And so if something came to my mind, I would just decide to do it, and I didn't care, right? I never thought about, well, what if something goes wrong? It just never stayed on my mind. Like, and call it what you want. It might have been something that, I don't know. It might have been stupidity, but for some reason it worked for me. I remember some years ago, I published a magazine. This is when I was married. I'm not married anymore. But during my marriage, me and my ex-wife, we created a magazine. The magazine was called Charisse Magazine. It was a beauty magazine. It was a urban lifestyle beauty magazine, and it was really nice. It was a really good magazine. But we were new to it, and we created it and we published it once a month, and we never had gotten into the magazine business. But so I wanted to go to this magazine conference in New York City, and I'll never forget it. At the time, honestly, I didn't have any money. I remember this. I didn't have any money. And this conference for this magazine came up, and what I remember about it more than anything is I wanted to go. I was like, I've got to get to this magazine conference because I'm going to learn something. I am going to learn something. And so I bought the flight. I had enough money to buy the flight. I bought the flight, but the hotel I didn't have the money for, and it was in New York. And New York hotels are expensive because I wasn't going to be staying in no cheap hotel. Just I wasn't going to do it. And I remember booking the hotel. And I thought to myself, I'll have that money by the time, it's time to take that trip. And that was it. I was going. So anyway, time passed by, and it was time for me to go on this trip to New York for this magazine conference. And when the time came, I didn't have that money for that hotel room. I did not. I did not. Let me tell you what I did. I had this tenacious faith. I'm saying this because I want you guys to really think about when you decide to do something, you got to make up in your mind that you're going to do it. That's really the only thing that really sets most of us apart from other people. Other people, as soon as they get scared, they just like, nope, not for me. So I still got on that plane. I'll never forget it. I got on that plane from Dallas to New York. I did that. I did not have the money to pay for the hotel. I got on the plane anyway. I said, hey, I've got to go to this magazine conference. I cannot miss this. This is important. Some of the biggest magazines and editors and chiefs were going to be there, and I wanted to meet them because I wanted to really, really have a successful magazine. So anyway, the plane lands. I go into town, go to my hotel room. I walk in the hotel. I stand in line. I have no money. I get in the line. I give my card to the, to the lady at the desk, and she goes, she, you know, she said, "Oh my God, Mr. Johnson, I have to apologize. We gave your room away, and because we gave your room away, we're going to go ahead and waive that. We're going to get a taxi outside. We're going to take you to one of our better hotels. We're going to give you an upgrade, and you don't have to pay for it, and everything's covered." And I remember that like it was yesterday. I said, "Wow." I said, "It's amazing when you have that kind of faith, how things will work out." And some people never get to experience that part because they would have never taken that trip. There's no way they would have. But I valued getting to that magazine conference more than I valued my ability to fail. And I say that to say this to a lot of you. You don't have that commitment to winning, to wanting the best to happen for you. It becomes too easy for you to lean on, it ain't gonna happen for me. I just remember when I was young, that's how I was, and that helped me a lot. I look back on it and I go like, man, I'm so glad I was that guy and not the other person that was always scared and fearful. We're getting older, and as you get older, you get to the point where you go, oh, I wish I would have, I wish, I wish, I wish, I wish, I wish. But you gotta have that kind of faith. And part of having that kind of faith is you need to hang around people who will remind you of your visions and your dreams, to remind you to keep going after it. Too many times we go back to people who remind us to forget about our dreams, and that cost us. It cost us so much. So I hope that story helped you. True story. It actually happened to me. And I remember always sharing that with certain people in my life, so that they could understand, like, sometimes the mentality you have to win. I'm out.